So what's on everybody's mind right now? The virus, the coronavirus, which is totally understandable because this is unprecedented. Italy has shut down, and there are, of course, cases in the UK, China, literally all over the world, and a bunch of cases in the United States. And we have a bunch of scientists who has told us, hey, the US is not prepared, the US is not ready. There are a bunch of people who are infected running around but not getting tested because we literally do not have the test kits available. So it seems that social isolation, setting everything down, if you are well, to be like, I am in my little cocoon, seems to be the best thing to do. At the very least, to give nurses and doctors and our systems a chance to catch up with the need. That's the idea. That's the concept. And I honestly think that it's a good thing, because if we can help stop the spread, if we can help prevent um, pretty much the post apocalyptic collapse that we've seen in pretty much every disaster movie since the beginning of time, then that will be an advantage. That will be a benefit to us as Americans. Um, and if I'm speaking strictly, people in the United States, I don't know really what the Canadian reaction is. I don't know what the Mexican reaction is. Um, I hope they're doing better than us, to be honest. Canada has its, universal health care, which, yeah, people ish on, but right now in America, if you have a job that doesn't give you health insurance, then you're already shit out of luck. It's almost impossible to get tested. And the idea that a social safety net somehow cripples people or sometimes hurts people, like stops their ambition from going out and working, one, that's utter crap. But two, it allows for these type of situations to happen where there is a greater good, there is a greater need, and yet if your idea of what a competent, good, quote unquote, person is someone who is completely self sufficient and doesn't need anybody, then you don't care about other people who need everyone else. And that's a problem. And so, this isolation, the idea of Broadway and the NBA and all the MLB just shutting down is actually a form of solidarity, a form of, okay, collectively, let's split apart. Collectively, let's not put profits over people. Collectively, let's find a way to take care of each other, even if that means staying still. And that is a beautiful thing because America is not known for all of us coming together. We do so in times of crisis, but even then, it's, clinging on to the last minute of, I guess, our individuality and being like, I will make it myself because that makes me a man, or some utter crap like that, as opposed to, hey, I have a community around me and we're going to build together. And I think that is super important. So if you are, in day one or day two of self-isolation, hats off to you. Thank you. Thank you for helping our elderly. Thank you for helping our citizens who may be disabled or who, have an autoimmune disease, who are immune compromised. If you are trying to keep yourself safe and making sure that your germs stay with you and don't go to anyone else, thank you. That's a big deal. Because the way that I feel like we're taught in America is not to look out for one another. Now, there are other ways to help people out. A lot of artists and freelancers are hurting. So many events have been canceled. So many smaller and bigger events have been canceled. Everyone from people who run concessions at stadiums to teachers who freelance to actors and performers. These are all people who work and who work ridiculously hard. So if you know anyone who could use some assistance, financial assistance, because the bills don't stop, then please help. Please join us in continuing that solidarity, because if you're someone who, like me, is fortunate enough to have a pretty solid salary job, fortunate enough to have health insurance, you may not feel like you're in the upper echelon, but you are. Because millions of Americans are homeless, Millions of Americans don't have health insurance. Millions of Americans are hourly wage workers. So if they don't show up, they can't get paid. Millions of Americans don't have sick leave. And even less have paid sick leave. Just because there's a virus out doesn't mean that people stopped being pregnant or being newborns. So anything you can do to help your friends, your community, your local food pantry, please help. Because we can all get through this together, and I believe that we will be better for it. See you on the interwebs.